They told us the house was just old, that it creaked because the beams were rotted, that the smell in the walls was mildew and time. But no mildew I've ever smelled leaves behind a trace of iron and something like hot meat. And old beams don't scream when you lean against them. They don't whisper your name to the pipes at night when no one else is awake. They don't make your bones itch. The house sat at the end of a gravel path no one wanted to pave. Behind it were the woods, wide and unbroken, black even in daylight, the kind of trees that held things instead of just growing. The shutters were always nailed shut, even in summer, even when the neighbors complained about the smell. And yet the city inspector always signed off on it, claimed no violations, as if the place had hypnotized them. Or worse, bribed them with something no human being could ever deserve. It wasn't even listed for sale. You didn't find that house. It found you. That's what I learned, the hard way. I moved in with two others, Simone and Paul, college friends. We wanted a quiet place, something cheap, somewhere to crash while we figured out what the hell we were doing with our lives. Craigslist gave us the address. No contact, no owner listed, just a message, 3 rooms, 600/month, first come, first stay, do not knock twice. We laughed when we read that. Do not knock twice. Sounded like a bad creepypasta. Sounded like bait. But the pictures were beautiful. Hardwood floors, a clawfoot tub, stained glass windows that glittered even in the shadow of the woods. The place looked too good to be true. We should have known it was. From the first day, there was something wrong with the light. It hit things at strange angles. I'd look at a shadow and swear it moved an inch left when I wasn't watching. Simone noticed it first in the kitchen, said the drawer handles weren't where she remembered them. Paul brushed it off, said we were tired, stressed. Moving was hard. Change did things to your brain. Then came the sounds. Scraping behind the walls. Thumps under the stairs. Whispers behind the vent grates. Simone said she heard her mother's voice, dead 10 years, singing an old lullaby from when she was 6. Paul heard crying from inside the sink drain. I didn't tell them what I heard, not at first, because what I heard wasn't sound, it was a countdown, a voice counting down from 50, whispering it over and over, never stopping. A raspy, wet voice that sounded like it was missing lips. Then people started disappearing. Not strangers, parts of us. Simone woke up one morning and screamed so loud it shook the windows. Her left foot was gone, not severed, not bleeding, gone, as if it had never existed. Her skin ended neatly at the ankle, sealed over like she'd been born that way. But she hadn't. We had photos, memories, 1,000 things proving it. But those things began to disappear too. The photos changed. Her socks hung limp in the drawer, only rights left, the shoes molded to one foot. Her prints on the bathroom floor, just a right. Her footprints stopped matching up, and worst of all, she didn't remember ever having a left foot. She cried, but not because it was gone, because we told her she used to have one and she couldn't believe us. Paul tried to leave, packed his bag, got in his car, drove 3 hours in one direction, GPS screaming reroute every 5 minutes. Then he stopped answering his phone. When I finally found him, he was back in the driveway, engine still running, windows fogged, and he was laughing and missing his left hand. Not bleeding, not maimed, just missing, like he was always one hand short. He held up his right and said, "Guess I don't need to watch anymore," and then looked confused when I screamed. I tried to leave too. Didn't pack, just walked. Every step I took, the woods grew darker. The trees moved closer. And the voice started again, this time counting down from 40. Then 30. The faster I walked, the louder it got. It screamed inside my teeth. My vision blurred. My tongue went numb. When I turned back, I was already on the front porch. No memory of walking there. That night, I lost my pinky toe. Just one. Gone when I pulled off my sock. I stared at my foot for an hour. I remembered the way it had cracked on the corner of my coffee table. Remembered how it had looked broken and bruised. Remembered the bandage. But I couldn't remember the pain. Couldn't feel anything where it should have been. And a day later, I couldn't even remember what it looked like. We didn't talk about it. Not anymore. We tried to pretend nothing was happening. We pretended Simone had always limped. That Paul had always worn gloves because of his accident. That I had always walked a little funny on my right side. But we were scared. The worst part? No one remembered we were gone. Texts stopped coming. Parents stopped calling. Our social media glitched. Our photos vanished. Our names blurred. It was like we were being erased, pixel by pixel. Then Simone lost her arm. She didn't even notice. We found her sitting on the floor, staring at the wall, cradling air like she was holding something that wasn't there. Her shoulder ended in smooth, taut skin, not a trace of bone or blood. She blinked slowly when I said her name. "I think the house is making room," she whispered. "Room for what?" I asked. "For it." She never said what it was, only that it whispered to her at night, that it sat on the ceiling like a spider and sang songs made of bones, that it could only take what we forgot to fear. I started leaving notes, taped them to my arms, my fingers, my legs, each one with a reminder. This is my hand. This is my eye. Do not forget your skin. But every morning more the notes were gone. The tape was still there, but the ink had melted, blurred into black smears like mold. Paul stopped talking altogether. He sat on the porch every night and stared at the trees. I asked him what he was doing. He didn't answer, just pointed to the forest and smiled like a child. When I checked on him one morning, he was gone. Only his shoes remained, and a smear of fog shaped like a knee, slowly dissolving into the morning air. The countdown in my head was at 10 now, louder, closer, like it was inside my ears. And every hour I felt something tingle, first my elbow, then my jaw, then the base of my spine. I started writing everything down. This journal, these words. It's the only way I remember I still have fingers to type. Every few pages, I have to check. I press my hand to the wall, see if I leave prints. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I feel them there, but see nothing. The mirrors don't reflect me anymore. Simone disappeared next. I don't mean she vanished. I mean she folded, like paper. One day, I found her lying in the hallway, arms curled up under her chin, knees pressed to her chest. She was flat, not just thin, flat, as if someone had crushed her down to one plane of existence. When I touched her, she crumpled into dust. The dust smelled like her perfume. Now I am alone, and the house is breathing. I feel it in the floorboards, a steady rise and fall, as if it's inhaling me, piece by piece. Sometimes I hear chewing, wet, methodical like cartilage between molars. The air tastes like teeth, and the rooms are rearranging. The bathroom is now behind the fridge. The bedroom is inside the coat closet. I slept in the tub last night and woke up in the attic. I scratched a message into the wall. I am still whole. It was gone in the morning, but the countdown was at 5, then 4. I stopped looking in the mirror. I think I'm losing my face. My skin feels loose, like it's slipping. When I blink, it takes a second longer. My jaw clicks. My tongue forgets words. I said my name yesterday, and it sounded wrong. Not mine. Someone else's. Someone inside the walls. I can hear them now. The ones the house took. They sing, and moan, and beg. Some have no mouths. Some only have mouths. They crawl through the pipes. They scratch on the floors. They don't want to be forgotten. But they are. They all are. And soon I will be too. The house no longer lets me sleep. It hums when I close my eyes. Not a sound, but a pressure, like 1,000 insects crawling through my teeth, pulsing in rhythm. Every time I gnaw it off, I wake up somewhere else. Once it was the crawl space. Once it was the attic rafters, clinging to wood beams with no idea how I got there. Once I awoke inside the wall itself, curled between insulation and wooden studs, and I had to claw my way out with a shard of broken mirror I kept in my boot. A mirror I don't remember breaking. I think I lost my right eye last night. I can still see, but only from the left. The other side is blank. Not dark, just absence. Like I never had a second eye to begin with. My depth perception is gone. The world looks like it's folding into itself. When I look too long at corners, they move, walls pulse, ceilings droop. My body is forgetting its shape. I try not to say my name anymore. I don't trust how it sounds. Every time I say it, the letters feel wrong in my mouth. They echo back to me with an accent I never had, a lisp I never knew. Sometimes it comes back in Simone's voice, sometimes Paul's. Once it came back as a whisper that was all throat, no tongue. There's something behind the oven. I haven't moved it. I'm too afraid, but I know it's there. Every night at 3:06, it breathes, a low, gurgling breath like lungs filled with water. The smell seeps out, a mix of rotted flowers, bile, and something sharp, something metal. I think it's teeth. I started marking my limbs with a knife. Tiny X's, just enough to bleed. Not deep, just so I can be sure they're still there. But the wounds close up too fast. My body is healing faster than it should, as if it's trying to hide what's happening, as if the house won't let me keep proof. I found Paul's tooth in the kitchen sink, perfectly clean, still bloody at the root, then another in the drain trap, a molar, then a tongue on the windowsill, dry and gray, curling like a dead leaf. The house is shedding us. I remember a dream I had when we first moved in. I was standing in the living room, but all the furniture was made of skin. The couch was a rib cage. The table was a spine. The light bulbs were eyeballs, pulsing faintly, and they blinked when I looked at them. There was a shape in the fireplace, crouched low, scraping something into the brick. I tried to run, but the floor became flesh, warm and wet and sticky. I sank into it, and when I looked down at my hands, they were already gone. That dream never stopped. It just changed shape. I don't know what day it is anymore. The clocks are melting, not figuratively, literally. I touched the microwave's display, and my fingers sank into numbers like they were made of oil. My phone won't turn on. The outlets hum when I go near them, but they're warm to the touch like breath, not electricity. There are more voices now. Some scream, some giggle, some just repeat the same words, over and over. You left the door open. You let it in. I don't remember opening any doors, but I remember the knocking. 2 sharp raps, then silence, then again, like a heartbeat, like Morse code. I thought it was just a tree branch, but there are no trees close enough. Not anymore. The house moved. I swear it. The gravel path out front is gone. There's only dirt now, and it's red, packed tight, the kind of soil that smells of old bones and iron. The windows no longer show the world outside. When I look through them, I see more rooms, endless rooms, each one darker than the last. Rooms where things crawl upside down along the ceilings. Rooms with beds made of hair and wet cloth. Rooms where people sleep with their eyes open, stitched to the pillowcases, drooling something black. I haven't eaten in days, but I'm not hungry. The hunger went away with my stomach. I think it's gone. I pressed my fingers in where it used to be and felt nothing. No organ, just a hollow, like I'm filling with something else. I don't bleed anymore. I cut myself to check. Nothing came out, not even pain. Just silence, like my nerves have been taken out one by one and folded into the walls. There's a trapdoor under the hallway rug. I didn't notice it before. It wasn't there before, but now it is, and it's open a crack. Every day it opens a little more. A warm breeze rises from it. Smells like old coins and breath and nursery rhymes. Sometimes I hear children laughing from down there. I haven't seen my reflection in a week, but I've seen something that looks like me. It walks past the doorways, peers from the top of the stairs. It's taller than me. Its arms are too long. Its mouth is always open, even when it's smiling. I caught it looking at me from the reflection in the fridge. When I turned around, it was gone, but the fridge door was open, and it had written something in the frost. Soon you will be beautiful. I am not beautiful. I am falling apart in reverse. Parts of me are disappearing, but my body looks more complete than ever. My skin is smooth. My nails are clean. My teeth, the ones I still have, are too white, like they've been replaced, like I'm being prepared for something. I found a list written on the inside of my closet. A tally, 12 names. 9 of them crossed out. The 10 says Paul. The 11th says Simone. The 12th says you. Next to each name is a diagram. A human body, slowly vanishing limb by limb. For Paul, it started with his hand. Simone, her foot. Me, it started with the toe. I trace the list with my finger every morning, but the ink never smudges. It's not written with pen. It's carved, deep, black, maybe even burned in. Sometimes I wake up in a new body. It looks like mine, feels like mine, but it's too perfect. And there's something in my mouth. Once it was a button. Once it was a tooth that wasn't mine. Once it was a fingertip, still warm. I swallowed it before I could scream. There's a door in the attic that was never there before. It hums, like it's waiting. I dream of it, standing there in front of it, my body smaller, my limbs missing, crawling toward it piece by piece. The wood is red, the handle is bone, the hinges are stitch flesh. Behind it is a voice, my voice, calling me inside. I haven't opened the attic door yet, but it opens for me. Every morning it's ajar, just a little more than the day before. The light that seeps through isn't light. It's dark gold, the color of pus and old wounds, and it moves like smoke. When I look into it, I see shapes writhing, too many limbs, too many mouths. But they're not screaming. They're singing. Singing with the same voice that's been counting down in my head since the first limb vanished. I hear it when I brush my hair, when I blink, when I bite down to keep from screaming. The countdown ended 3 days ago. Now it just repeats one word. Give. I've tried to run, again and again, but the forest out back has changed. The trees are hollow now, full of things that watch me. Not eyes, just awareness. I walk for hours and end up back at the basement door, even if I didn't go near it. I think the house isn't just a place anymore. It's wearing me, like skin. It knows my shape, my memories, my fears. It whispers them back to me at night. It remembers my first kiss, the smell of my grandmother's house, the way my voice cracked the day my dog died. It repeats them in a chorus, sometimes with Paul's voice, sometimes Simone's, sometimes all three. But they aren't memories anymore. They're blueprints for something it's building. I'm forgetting how to cry. I try to remember pain, try to make myself scream when I see what's missing, but I can't. My body doesn't know what should be there. I think I've lost both knees now. I only feel myself dragging, floating sometimes, like I'm not touching the floor. The blood in the walls is louder now. Yes, blood. It pulses in time with my breath. I hear it at night, squishing behind the wallpaper. It smells like rotting feathers and metal. I touched the wall once and it bled. Thick, dark red. But it didn't drip. It curled upward, back into the ceiling, like it was being drunk. I haven't seen daylight in a week, or maybe more. The sun through the windows is white now. Not bright, not warm, just white like a hospital light left on too long. It hums when I walk past it. If I get too close, the window breathes on me. Warm breath with a scent of milk and meat. Something else is in the house, not just the house itself. Something wearing Paul's height. Simone's hands. Something that laughs when I try to pray. It follows me in the mirrors. It grins when I'm too tired to stand. I caught it crawling down the hallway on all fours one night, its joints bent backward, eyes roll white. It left marks on the floor, not footprints, drag trails, like hooves melted into hands. I tried to burn the place down, doused the floor in lighter fluid, tore the curtains, piled every piece of furniture in the kitchen, and struck the match. It fizzled. The flame turned blue and sank into the walls like water. Then the walls shuddered. I heard something scream, not in anger, in pleasure. The kind of moan that shouldn't come from wood. The house liked it. It's feeding off me, not just body. Self. It's been eating my memories. I forgot my sister's name today. I looked at a photo and couldn't recognize the face beside me. I tried to hum my favorite song, and the melody melted in my mouth. I wrote down my name, and the letters rearranged themselves. It spelled something else. Seed. I sleep less now. When I do sleep, I dream of growing things. Roots through my spine, worms in my lungs, my fingers sprouting like branches, the nails curling into petals made of teeth. I dream of Simone standing at the foot of my bed, one arm gone, her face smooth like a doll's, humming a lullaby made of gurgling. She keeps saying the same thing. There are more of us now. I found a door behind the shower wall, ripped through the tile, followed a draft, and there it was, a small wooden door with no knob, covered in carvings, not symbols, not letters, fingers, hundreds of tiny finger shapes, etched into the wood, baby-sized, all pointing inward. The door opened on its own. Behind it, a tunnel, narrow, womb-like, lined with something that squished when I touched it. I crawled for what felt like hours. The air got thicker. My ears popped. I swear I passed something breathing in the dark, something that smelled like burnt milk and formaldehyde. At the end of the tunnel, I found a room, empty, except for a mirror. And the mirror was me, but not me. The face looking back smiled wider than a human should. The skin was too smooth, the eyes black and glassy. It didn't move when I did. It watched, and then it winked. When I blinked, I was back in my bed, my arms covered in mud, my nails cracked, my tongue tasted like rust. I'm losing time now. I speak in voices I don't recognize. Sometimes I wake up halfway through a sentence. Sometimes I'm halfway down the stairs and don't remember getting up. The house is dreaming through me. The trapdoor in the hallway is wide open now. There are stairs beneath it, slick, pulsing stairs that lead down into red light. I hear music from down there, not notes, not harmony, something like wind through bone flutes, and a voice that keeps saying, "You're almost ready." I think I've lost my spine. I don't feel my back anymore. I move like jelly. My body slumps forward. My skin is tightening, not aging, tightening, as if it's shrinking around something new growing underneath. A second skin, more perfect, more obedient. I coughed up a tooth last night, not one of mine. It had someone's initials carved into it. S.A. maybe Simone, maybe someone before her. The names in the closet are changing. There are more now, 13, 14, 15, each one with a new diagram. Some have entire heads missing. Others are just torsos. Some are crossed out not with lines, but with what looks like burn marks. I think those are the ones the house finished. I'm number 20. I asked the house aloud, "What are you doing to me?" The floor responded. Words rippled through the wood grain. "Making you forget the prison of being." That's when I realized the house doesn't kill you. It replaces you. It peels you, layer by layer, limb by limb, thought by thought, until what's left is smooth, quiet, submissive, until what's left won't fight, until what's left will stay. Because that's what the house needs. Residents. Permanent ones. The kind that don't run, that don't dream, That don't remember. Just shapes that smile. I watched my own hand crawl away last night. It happened around 2:15 a.m. I was lying on the living room floor because the bedroom melted. Literally, the bed sagged, the carpet dripped upward, and the air stank of sweet vinegar and something wet. So I lay in the living room, shivering, skin twitching. I blinked and my right hand twitched. Once, then twice. Then it popped free of my wrist with a soft slurp. No blood, no pain. It just wriggled out like it had always meant to leave. It landed palm down, flexed its fingers, and then, like a crab, skittered toward the kitchen on its fingertips. I tried to scream. Nothing came out. I tried to chase it, but my legs didn't move. My toes had vanished 2 days ago. My knees were numb. I flopped forward like a rag doll, jaw slack, mouth dripping with cold spit. I caught one last glimpse of my hand opening the fridge. I don't know what it wanted, but the fridge hummed in pleasure when it crawled inside. This morning, it was gone. Not just a hand, the fridge, just blank wall, and a note in red. You are learning. The bathtub is full of teeth, hundreds of them, some child-sized, some too long and thin to be human. They chatter on their own. I tried to scoop them out once. They bit me, not hard, playfully, like they knew me. One of them whispered, "Mother." I smashed the mirror in the bathroom. Behind it, not a wall, a face, pressed into the space. Eyes sewn open, mouth stitched closed. Pale, ancient, eyelids twitching like it was dreaming someone else's dream. I left the room and never went back. The house knows what I see. It shows me what I can't bear. Not to hurt me, to train me. It's preparing me for something. I feel when I lie still, the humming beneath the floorboards, the heat from the doorknobs, the soft muttering in the wallpaper. Words like shaping, unmaking, becoming. I'm almost gone. I don't know how many fingers I have anymore. I write by instinct. My knuckles don't crack like they used to. My spine doesn't ache. My stomach hasn't made a sound in days. I should be starving, but I'm not. The house feeds me things I don't remember eating. I wake up with the taste of earth and iron in my mouth. Sometimes my breath smells like ozone. Sometimes milk. Once it tasted like blood, but not mine. Sweeter, like memory. I found a tooth growing in my thigh, just under the skin. A molar. I could feel it when I sat down, pressed it with my thumb. It pulsed. When I dug it out, it bled black. The root was still wiggling. I swallowed it. I don't know why. There are no more doors in the house. They've all disappeared, replaced with holes. Throbbing, skin-rimmed holes that lead to more rooms, more hallways, more places that weren't here before, places that smell like birth and death at once. I wander them, barely aware of my body anymore. I pass others sometimes. Shapes, bent, slow, smiling things. Once I passed a girl with no face. Her skin was stretched tight, blank as leather, but her head turned when I walked by. She watched me. I think she was Simone, or what was left of her. I tried to speak to her. My voice came out in echoes, like 6 people speaking at once. The walls clapped when I finished, as if the house was proud. I think I'm becoming one of the voices in the pipes. I hear myself whisper when I'm not talking. I hear laughter that sounds like me, but happier, lighter, unburdened. It comes from the drains, from the cracks in the floor, from behind the light switch plates. One night, I screamed into the sink, and the sink screamed back. It sounded relieved. I lost my left leg 2 days ago. Not all at once. It faded slowly. First the foot, then the ankle, then everything up to the hip. It didn't hurt. It didn't bleed. It just dissolved. Like mist. But I can still feel it sometimes. Like it's somewhere in the house, walking without me. I woke up yesterday with stitches in my neck. I didn't put them there. They're neat, precise. Someone closed something up. Something they added. I can feel it under the skin. It moves when I talk. Sometimes it hums. Sometimes I think it's breathing. I've stopped writing I. The house prefers we. We are becoming. We are almost ready. We dream now in corridors, endless rooms with low ceilings and walls made of pressed cloth, vibrating with thought. We float through them. We sing. We do not ask who we were before. That part was taken, shed like skin, forgotten like a lie. We no longer miss the limbs we gave. We no longer remember being incomplete. We are filling. The attic door is wide open now. We do not fear it. We understand its purpose. We are ready. We ascended last night. The steps were soft and wet. The golden light was brighter now, sharp, divine. The shape waiting inside was familiar, tall, hollow, radiant, the house given form, a cathedral of bone and memory. It opened its mouth. Inside were stairs. We climbed, and we left something behind with each step. A memory, a muscle, a name. By the time we reached the top, there was nothing left but the smile. The house smiled back, and it opened its chest. Inside, a bed, warm. We lay in it. We became part of the frame. We do not need doors now. We do not knock. We do not scream. We wait, because soon others will come, others like we once were, and we will teach them the rules. Do not knock twice. Do not bring mirrors. Do not say your name after midnight. Do not resist. And always, always forget